Welcome to another day in the Matrix, waters above crypto. I hope you had a beautiful weekend. I'm sending you all love and high vibrations. Today we're going to go over the weekly close for Bitcoin and XRP to see what to expect this upcoming week during our new moon. We had noticeably bullish price action over the weekend. We're 2 days away from the new moon, so this is to be expected. For those of you that have been following my work for a while, you know that using the moon cycle as our main indicator has been a game changer in determining direction of this market month by month. And this month will have an interesting change of character as we transition into November with our next eclipse. And just a reminder, the new month has started on Patreon. If you've been waiting patiently to join, you can visit patreon.com/watersabove to sign up for the Mastermind community membership and get instant access to my exclusive Patreon posts, all of my weekly Red Pill episodes, my technical analysis podcast. This week, I went over the charts of Zilliqa, VeThor token, Chainlink, Matic, Digibyte, and a couple other altcoins. You'll also get instant access to our private community Discord and also get updates to see what I'm personally buying and selling. I'll definitely be focused on buying more during this next full moon, so you'll get access to see exactly what I'm accumulating during this month. So if you're new here, we do cryptocurrency technical analysis and combine it with Gematria Numerology and Astrology to understand these markets. Feel free to subscribe and turn on the bell notification to stay updated on when new videos come out. And make sure to give this video a like and share this channel with other conscious people to help grow this community. And for those of you that want to learn how to do technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, you can join my mastermind course. My email's in the description box to get in contact with me for access to the course. And with that being said, let's take the red pill. Just a quick little numerology for everyone to start out this video. We have tomorrow's date being 10/5/2021, giving us the 11. The 11 to me, master number is the restart, just like the first day of the year is 1/1, January 1st. Just like Genesis starts out with 1/1, it is the restart. And this is a very important number in a lot of ways. But more importantly, I was looking into this number when you add it up the way that I like to add up my date numerology is 10 plus 5 plus 20 plus 21, and we're getting that 56. And that 56, of course, coming back to BTC, the ticker symbol for Bitcoin, and also our friends Jesuit order with the 56. Of course, naturally, the day after that, if we added up the date numerology, we would be also getting the 57. Those 2 days in a row, and that 57 would be moving us into the new moon being on the 6th. So it's really interesting how all these dates are adding up this way. I'm really fascinated with adding up the date numerology and what the energy we get on those days as they come. So we have this 56 date coming up tomorrow, and the date giving us the 11 numerology when doing standard numerology and reduction. And also, because we have a new moon coming up, just recapping, new moon in Gematria has a direct connection to Jupiter, right? And we could see with the same ciphers. If we were to see right down here near the bottom of the screen, we have Jupiter and new moon, 99s, 36s, 90s, and then we also get this connection between the 27s. 27 Chaldean, 27 reverse full reduction. That 27 is a powerful number, everyone, because it's tied to Jupiter in the Chaldean cipher. It's very powerful. Of course, the reverse of that 27 comes back to 72 with Bitcoin. Also comes back to Jesuit order, the 72, and this 144 has been very powerful in my work. That 40 in Chaldean you're getting is tying back to Ripple with the 40, and the 27 in Chaldean with Ripple tying back to Jupiter. It is one of the Jupiter coins. So it's an important thing that people understand what's going on here. Look at the market from a deeper perspective. And in my work, I figured out that it's all tied to Saturn, Jupiter, and Venus. And we've shown this before, how Saturn, Jupiter, Venus gives you this 73. And the 73 in Chaldean is the 21st prime. And of course, Sun, Moon giving us the 37, which is the reverse of 73, which is the 12th prime, the reverse of 21, as above, so below. This is showing you that the sun and the moon are the top dogs, and the ones below them, their henchmen, are Saturn, Jupiter, and Venus. And that trinity right there controls this entire financial sector with the help of the Jesuit order and the Talmudic Jews. So anywho, sun and moon giving us that 111 coming back to New York. And of course, that's where the stock exchange is. You also see that 33 in the same cipher. Keep your eyes fixed right there, and you will see sun, moon, 33. That 33 is a very powerful number, 33rd degree Freemason. It is the 33rd degree when ice turns into water, the unfrozen or the unfrozen pineal gland, the Enlightenment, those who are illuminated. That is why they call themselves the Illuminati, the Bavarian Illuminati. So this is really important because I was also considering how these recent dates are all adding up. And this 10-7 date is something that I'm considering, with 10 plus 7 plus 20 plus 21. And that's giving us that 58. And we know that 58 comes back to XRP in 58. And that 58 also ties back to New World Order with the 58 and the Chaldean. And we get that right there. It's really powerful, this number. So we're coming close to a big energetic shift between the 56, 57, 58 date numerology, transitioning through our new moon, which is directly tied to Jupiter. Also, another thing that's pretty interesting about today is today leaves 88 days in the year. So when you go from October 4th, 2021 to 12/31/2021, we can see 88 days. And what's really important about this is in the date of the new moon compared to the last day of the year, that gives us 86 days. And that 86, of course, coming back to Ripple with the 86. And remember, we called the 86-cent bottom on XRP recently, very adamant about it. And we actually called out that target probably 2 months in advance, about a month and a half in advance before it even happened. And we got that 86 number from using Gematria. So another really interesting thing, of course, is how Ripple is being tied back to Jupiter. We have 86 days left in the year. And another thing that I was thinking about is we're actively in the 40th week of the year. So we'll be in the 40th week of the year with the 86 days left in the year, both 86 and 40 tying back to Ripple. Very interesting, just some food for thought. It's not me saying we're going to have a huge breakdown or a huge, spike in the XRP price. It's just me sort of showing you how this code operates. And whenever I'm giving people call outs, it's because I'm always considering this code as part of my thesis. So again, I don't see any huge significance to this week necessarily between this 40-86 connection, because we're sort of in a balance point. And why are we in a balance point right now? It is because we are in Libra. Libra is all about balance, balancing the scales. So between now and the 42nd week of the year, we are just balanced. And if we look at the charts, even though we've been bullish over the past week, it's not new highs. It's nothing really extravagant necessarily. It's just sideways. Of course, we got bullish price action into the new moon. That's typical. But we haven't gotten higher than the new moon of Rosh Hashanah yet. So this is all about balance. It's just very volatile, up, down, huge swings, and that's all about Libra, of course, coming back to the zodiac. So let's move on, because there was a lot of information in the beginning of that, and I do want to get some thorough technical analysis in before we move on. So just really quickly, I do want to start with Bitcoin, and then we're going to do the DXY analysis, and then we'll do XRP. So first and foremost, we can see that the weekly close that we just had was actually above the yellow moving average, which is the 8 simple moving average. So typically we expect closures above the 21. We have been doing such. This week was really interesting. This was a shakeout week because of the full moon. The full moon in this year in particular has been a textbook time for corrections. So I could go over that, but I've gone over that so much in previous videos. So more importantly, we're just getting into the technicals using our moving averages today because we just had our weekly close, and I feel that's a little more critical. So what we're seeing right here is we've actually got this weekly close above the 8 simple moving average, and that is really nice to see because that's our short-term moving average. Very bullish. Let's go to our 5-day because we just had a 5-day closure as well, and you can see that we closed again a 5-day candle above all of our key moving averages. And another thing that we're starting to see that's a little bit of a change of character as well is this blue moving average, which I know is a little hard to see, but this blue moving average is the 13 exponential, and that is about to cross above the 55. And we're getting this happening on the 5-day. So once we start seeing this 8 moving average sloping to the upside, it's going to take Bitcoin to move up into the probably mid 50s or 60K for this to all come to fruition. Again, maybe by November. But once we start seeing the 5-day chart have the 8, 13, 21, 34, and the 55 on the bottom, that's game over. That's going to start to flip into Bitcoin strength, and we're going to see the dominance in Bitcoin rise. Just a little, like, I'm letting you guys know the crystal ball, what's to come. For those of you that are more technically inclined and understand what I just said, that is the play here. We have some time. We have a little bit more time. Bitcoin can make highs before this all comes to fruition in regards to the way that the EMAs and SMAs are staggered. But more importantly, I'm just letting you know this in the future when we expect to see Bitcoin dominance. In my opinion, based off of my analysis, I see that it will take these moving averages to get into a full bullish posture, meaning the 8 simple above the 13 EMA, 21, 34, and the 55 simple moving average at the bottom. We have very, very solid structure here. This is looking exactly how we envisioned it months ago. And the reason I was able to see that ahead of time is because I am a Wyckoff analyst. I look at this whole market first and foremost through the lenses of Richard Wyckoff, whose Wyckoff method is absolutely game-changing. Been discussing it for over a year now, even in my mastermind course, which started around this time of year last year. It was how I start off my mastermind course, teaching people that kind of stuff. So if those of you are trying to learn Wyckoff, my mastermind course will definitely give you all the basics to be able to have that as one of the tools in your arsenal of TA knowledge. So again, the 3-day closure, very bullish here. Not quite above the previous open and close. I do suppose it's pretty damn similar. It's about within probably a couple dollars, but ultimately you can see there's a clear resistance level right around 48,000, and that's kind of okay. On the macro candles, that's fine for now. What I'm anticipating now is a little bit of a retest to the downside, so I think we'll get into that as we're scanning on the lower time frame. So here we are. On the 2-day, we can see that these moving averages, key moving averages, are all coiled up somewhere around 46,000 downwards of 44,500. That is the zone. So take note on what I just said. 44,500 to 46,000. At least retesting 46,000 should happen. The reason why is because this breakout right here has thin air in between the backtest zone. It just went straight line right through it. And that's not healthy. If I go to the daily, we could actually see a little clearer picture. So let me turn off everything and you're going to see what I'm talking about. So you see how there's no trading action between this wick top right here and this wick bottom right here. This needs to get filled up eventually. And I'm not, I guess using the word needs is a little bit dramatic. I believe from an analytical perspective, it should be backtested, at least some of the key moving averages. So let me go back to the 2-day and kind of give you my theory here. So we can see that there's a potential bullish cross on the MACD 2-day, that's very bullish. When you get a 2-day MACD cross, it always leads to good things. But I do think between now and then, there would be nothing wrong with a little flash down to 46. And that's not a big deal. From the wick lows that we've seen on two 2-day candles in a row, it's about 3% to the downside. So it would just look like maybe tomorrow is in the cards for a slight little pullback. And I don't want to get so specific here with days and with pullbacks and this, that, and the third, because ultimately we were trying to buy back here. People that waited and now they want to get in on these little corrections. That's not how this market works. You want to be either patient for full moons, or you want to just be on the sidelines chilling during new moons. Right now we are in new moon energy, which could be up to 5 days after a new moon. So that gives us till around October 9th, October 10th. So for any people that waited because they thought we would go lower down here, you learned a lesson, and you're probably, no offense, the type of person that keeps waiting all the time because you're following way too many people's opinions and you're not learning TA yourself. This is like the most incredible part of this whole experience. It's your money, so it needs to be your analysis, and your higher self will tell you exactly what to do when the market gives you price action. I was breaking this down in my Red Pill episode that I posted last night. I don't understand why some people want a price to go down or go up. Once you become a sophisticated analyst, you no longer want these things to happen. You just take whatever the market gives you. So anyone who's like, oh, it's October 5th and we didn't get a pullback, and they start freaking out because they're trying to get so specific to the exact date, those are the type of people that are never going to do well in this market because they have no patience. And patience is such a valuable skill in this market, especially in crypto, because we can see corrections that happen in a single day that are so massive and shake so many people out that they'll panic sell. And it's amazing to me how this works so well. And it's interesting because I've heard people say, well, if the New World Order is really that, trying to control everything, why would they let us play with crypto if there's so much money to be made? And the way that they shake people out is not through the price action necessarily. It's with all the FUD in the market. It's all the FUD. And when we're up here, you heard me starting to get bearish. I actually literally said in a YouTube video, I am bearish. And it was around this early September timeframe. The only reason I was saying that was because I was anticipating a pullback. I wait till there's so much greed in this market for me to flip bearish. And I don't care if I'm a day early or 2 days early. That doesn't matter. This is the red pill. I don't care if it's the exact day. I just anticipate it to come. And if we're on the right side of the manipulation, it doesn't matter if we're a day early or 2 days early or 3 days early. We were early, which is 10 times better than being late. So this is something to consider here. At the end of the day, we need to wait for this new moon to clear. We have some time moving into the full moon, which is quite a ways away. Especially in a market that has so much volatility due to the DXY. So in the long and short of it on the daily, this is looking, again, giving me more feeling for sideways and possibly retest to the downside before continuation to the upside. One of the main things is this 8 simple moving average is sloping up very fast, but it's still below the 55 simple moving average. So until this 8 crosses above the 55, I call that the wolf cross. Until that happens, sideways and just holding support and definitely getting rejected. So today, even there's a possibility for a swipe up to higher levels, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we still can't retest lower levels. There's a possibility that today we swipe up to 50 and then still come back down in a day or two. Just keep that in mind. Also, all of these moving averages are looking to get crossed eventually by the 8 simple moving average. So remember what I was telling you about the 8 being above the 13, 21, 34, etc. That's what's seeming to play out over here. So when that comes to fruition on the daily chart, then we get our 2-day MACD cross. Then we get a 3-day MACD cross, which will be very similar time frame. And then the 5-day gets resolution with the EMAs. That will be bull mode full on. Okay, so I'm just letting everyone know we're very close to that moment, probably before the end of this month. So let's move on quickly just to look at the DXY. DXY is getting hit today, but we anticipated that. We anticipated this correction in the last video that I made. So we can see any closure today below this 8. That would definitely tell me more downsides to come. Then we have a potential, this is histogram starting to slope. Moving averages are starting to slope, which is telling me that the histogram will start changing color, which essentially it has, and then it'll move down until we get our cross. Histogram flips red, and then that essentially I'm just seeing retest back to this level around 92. I suspect this 200 EMA is an extremely strong support level for the DXY at this time, which is normal. It's the 200 moving average. We actually haven't backtested the 200 simple since the breakout has started back in June full moon. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays as well. At this time, I remember telling everyone in my last video, all I'm seeing here was this high, this sort of manipulation pump back in September of last year was the same exact manipulation pump to the upside that we saw this year. The same exact thing. The only difference is this was a lower high. This right here, the highs came in around 94.6, and this time the highs came in around 94.5. It's a slight difference, but it is still technically a lower high, which is bearish. So just keep that in mind. That's something to consider. These EMAs are looking really fucking bullish, really solid. So again, we need to start seeing closures and then see how it reacts on this trend line. This trend line is only 2 touch points, so it's not necessarily confirmed, but a third touch point and then break down, that would be essentially a start of a pullback down to this actual trend line, which we can see 1 touch point, 2, 3. This is a confirmed support. So I would like to see a retest of this confirmed support, most likely in the cards by November. So we just have to see how that plays out. Ultimately, though, it would be really interesting if this got a bounce and reversed off and then made a new high. That would be a warning sign for the stock market. For crypto, I wouldn't be as worried, but for the stock market, I would definitely be like ready for some impeding doom, which I don't suspect, honestly, for the stock market until after probably around January of 2022. That's when I suspect the stock market's going to start to get some pressure moving into February. So then we have the XRP analysis. Let's go to the weekly. It's important stuff here. Let me look at this without all the drawing tools and turn that off. Beautiful. So we did get our weekly closes above that 21 exponential and above the 13. It looks like we've tried back testing that 13 today, but we have yet to close above that 8 simple moving average going back to Rosh Hashanah. So this is telling me we are still sideways. Again, this is what I've been telling people to expect ultimately, just sideways until resolution, and the resolution is upside. If we retest 89 cents, whatever, but ultimately the resolution is upside, which is remaining in trend. The trend here on the macro is still higher lows. So we have our low from the SEC dump, higher low coming back here to July full moon. Then we have low here coming back to full moon September after Rosh Hashanah. And that is exactly what I anticipate moving forward. No break of structure at this time, which is bullish. So let's go to the 5-day. 5-day, same story. We've closed above our key exponential moving averages, but have yet to close a 5-day above that 8 simple moving average. That would be the next thing I anticipate to show us some more structure. 3 days looking really good, but the EMAs are definitely coiled up, showing a lot of support around $1, which is a good thing. We could absolutely get closures below there, though, but this 3-day with all these moving averages right here is definitely showing some strength. That's a good sign. Let's check out the MACD. MACD is definitely recovering, started to flatline, and then we can see that we are above 50 on the RSI. That's good. Again, more just confirmation of sideways, guys. Then we have MACD definitely flipping, showing that it's ready to cross. The 2-day MACD bullish cross is textbook for XRP. That always leads to breakouts, so you don't even have to overthink that. Right here, we're looking pretty damn good on the 2-day. So clearly on the shorter time frames, we're showing signs of recovery. This 55 simple moving average on the 2-day chart, beautiful support. Again, confirming not going below 86 cents, which is the technical target that we called for the bottoming structure. Now, we do have a 2-day closure coming in leading into the new moon, which is essentially tomorrow's close. And we could see that the 8 simple is starting to flatline and hopefully slope up. Remember, we always want our moving averages sloping up to maintain, basically just showing us that there's strength in the chart. Okay, so this is actually the daily chart. It's the same story as Bitcoin, where we see that 8 simple moving average starting to cross above the 200 simple moving average. This is a nice start, but ultimately we see that our moving averages are all bearish right now. We have the red above the orange above the blue. We want the blue to flip above and the red to be at the bottom, and that'll take some time. Again, more confidence for me to say sideways before up. Now we have this 55 simple definitely going to be a resistance level, but I'll venture to say any closures on the daily above this $1.11 level will probably lead us to recovery out of this zone, more closer to the highs of Rosh Hashanah. So we have a little more time to see this play out. It could take a little more time. And this is very noticeable building structure, because we have that 200 exponential moving average on the bottom showing a key support. That's flipping to around 90 cents at this time. So if we were going to get any dramatic pullbacks, it would be down to 90. But there's just so much support here being built in this level. We're just fighting this resistance now from this previous support. So again, upside target would be anywhere around this previous wick at $1.08, upwards of the 55 simple at $1.10. And then downside targets, I'd be looking to hold support around the high 90s, around this 200 simple moving average and the 8 simple moving average, right there around 98 cents. That would be the downside targets. If we're remaining daily closes above that, that's beautiful. That's just normal pullback areas. But at this time, my sentiment is more sideways overall, and that's in the big picture. Can we pump up a little bit? Sure. But by sideways, I mean we're holding the range. So for anyone who's new to TA, doesn't really quite understand what that means, this is the top side of our microstructure, $1.40. This is the bottom side at 86 cents. I think we're just going to range between those levels. That's what sideways means. So just to help people understand the technical lingo here. Okay, so at this time, I'm kind of just waiting. I do suspect that there'll be some resistance at the 382 fib, of course, just because that's a normal level. And then anywhere trading between these levels is beautiful, actually, because we're just building more support at that dollar zone. And then eventually moving into the month of November, there's definitely opportunity to see XRP recovering, getting above that $1.40 level again. But month of October is definitely going to be weird. Remember, Libra is about balancing the scales. So volatility in this time is all choppy sideways. So the new month has started on Patreon. Again, for those of you that have been waiting to join, you want more exclusive content, that's where you'll be able to get the Red Pill episodes. This recent episode I actually published yesterday. It was my longest episode, and I went over the most altcoins. I actually covered 10 different altcoins. It's my technical analysis podcast we went over Zilliqa this week, Vitho, Chainlink, Digibyte, a couple others, and you'll also get Discord access, which now has 2,000 members. So we have so many red-pilled members that have joined over the last couple months, and it's been beautiful to see the community engagement, definitely helping each other out to thrive in this matrix. You'll also get access to see what I'm personally buying and selling. It will not be trading callouts or take profits or any of that stuff. I'm just letting people know live whenever I buy or whenever I personally sell an investment. So it's my spot buying and selling. Essentially, I am focused on accumulation at this time before the alt season. So I see this next full moon as an opportunity, and I will definitely be packing my bags later this month on any bearish price action. So at this stage of the bull run, I'm still focused on accumulations. It's the final stages of accumulations again, because we are so close to the end. But I'll be sharing that to be transparent with my community over on our Discord, which you can get access to by becoming a member of the Mastermind community membership. So enjoy the rest of this new moon. Much love.